Oh, thanks, Paul. Welcome.
Hey.
We were doing a thing.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, anyway, this is the facial recognition what?
Comedy.
Podcast.
There we go.
Oh, look, we're synchronized. All right, ladies, are we in sync? Are our cycles in sync?
Are they? Are you
That's
on
not
day
a
2?
thing.
Day 2? Who's on
That's
day
not
2?
a thing. Did you do a...
I did a Dirty Science episode.
Damn,
it's not
I
a
missed
thing.
that episode. Hold
Day
on.
2.
I don't even know. I gotta look at my app. I
Listeners,
have an
who's
app.
on day 2?
I
Paul?
just
Paul, are you on
finished.
day 2 of your period?
Men have
Okay.
periods. They have emotional cycles, or hormonal cycles, rather. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Oh, I'm Fizza for our listeners who are just listening for the first time.
Pallavi.
I'm Zara.
And we're facial
Recognition.
Comedy.
This is
Podcast.
we suck.
You guys, we're like not gonna get into the next Dream Girls. You
Yeah.
guys.
We're funny. We funny though.
Yeah.
I was doing harmony with somebody at some point. I forget.
I like
Did
ruined
it sound
it.
like that?
No, there was a facial recognition comedy moment where I was doing harmony with someone, and I forget what it was.
It is
or who-
possible for some of us, is what you're saying at some point.
yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Maybe not this group, but
We'll see. We have performers.
Oh snap! So like, there's a lot going on. We were talking about the Dina incident.
so Dina Hashem.
New York
Um,
comic, very funny. She was booked on our show, our New York show, which would have been last Friday if you're listening to this. She was embroiled in controversy that we think shouldn't have been controversy.
Well,
Yeah.
It
So
was her intention. It was taken the wrong way.
okay. So for our listeners, comedy. So she did this set she did a joke that was recorded at the Comedy Cellar. It was supposed to be taped for Comedy Central. They released a clip of it on Twitter, where she's basically saying a joke about recently passed away rapper. I don't even know how to say this name.
XXXTentacion.
But
Tentacion,
But she pronounced it funny like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But he died like last June.
Yeah, he died last year.
He was a 20-year-old rapper that was shot because he was carrying like $50,000 with him to go buy a car, and I think it was like a robbery gone wrong.
So
which is tragic. That itself is very tragic.
Yes, it's very tragic, and also he wasn't shot because he had the $50,000 of cash on him. So there's like more to the story.
Oh, okay.
There's like some other like violence and some other shadiness that was associated with it. But her joke, because jokes are not always based on fact, it doesn't have to be 100% factual.
Yeah.
But her joke was that he's dead now. He was on his way to buy a car with $50,000 in cash, and somebody shot him and took the money, which is very tragic. But I also think it would be a very good Venmo commercial.
I mean,
Which is funny.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes a point, right? Like, okay, carrying $50,000 in cash is dangerous.
I also
Yeah,
think
but
like
if a
it could have
target-
been any rapper, it could have been any amount of money, it could have been any situation. This was not aimed at the rapper in question.
Yeah.
It was about Venmo.
It was just that whole like bringing him up was just an entry into her joke. And so I said this to people online in an attempt to defend her, but I think they just didn't understand that it wasn't about his death specifically, even if she used him as an example.
Well, because they're triggered, and for them, it's like, how dare you use my favorite rapper or my hero's name in vain, you know? It doesn't make sense to me because it's not like this guy was just like a stand-up noble man, you know? Like he also has this he
beat his girlfriend
Yeah.
to the point where his pregnant girlfriend to the point where her vision was permanently damaged.
Yeah.
But he was like, I think, dealing with the courts while like in the midst of his passing.
Yeah, so they didn't have, like, he wasn't convicted of anything at that point. I mean, he was killed before justice on the other case of his domestic violence case.
I also
was
think
served.
like his the whole that all of that is irrelevant, right? Whether he was a great guy or a terrible guy, that's not like the reaction that she is getting is death threats, rape threats.
It's
her parents' address was posted online.
Yeah, her mom's
It's
address in Jersey
disproportionate.
was,
She had to change her number. She had to shut down her social media messaging, and it's completely disproportionate because like given what like we allow other artists to rap about or what he was rapping about. It was like there was like violence and stuff in his lyrics,
And people threaten each other in songs all the time, and a comedian makes a joke. And I think maybe they're taking, if you're a fan, that's a heavy situation, his death. So maybe it's disrespectful. They may perceive it as disrespectful.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think, who are his
okay.
fans? Are these street dudes? Because I was
No,
going to say
there are a lot of.
but
He was 20 years old. He has compared to like Mac Miller and Nipsey, who have both like 5 or 6 million Instagram followers. He had 16 million. So he's very large with the younger generation. So there's a lot of
He has
like
a huge
15-year-olds like defending him.
Yeah.
What's the demographic?
But
Are
I mean,
these
it's
suburban
children.
kids.
I'm
It's
sure
not
it ranges.
suburban.
I'm sure it's
not
like
all suburban. It's also a lot of inner city kid because he was the inner city kid. But the problem is like it's all these like teenagers who aren't like fully developed yet emotionally or mentally, and you're actually going out there and like making death threats, and you're redirecting your energy from something else to like finding her mom's address and stuff like that. So it's like, who is policing these kids? Nobody.
But it's also the person who initially like called her out was not a teenager. It was James Davis, who's another comedian. Who I don't know the details of his original posts, but I heard from someone that he basically like sicked his 500,000 followers on her.
Yeah.
What was it, an actual sicking, or was it just sort of an opinion that was
I
expressed?
don't know. I don't know the original thing because he like deleted everything.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
But all the comedians were coming out against him.
And again, it's like, well, if he did sick someone on an individual, that's not right. But the issue is just, it's the behavior all around. Like he should be able to say what he wants, and a billion people shouldn't attack this girl. Like if he has an opinion.
I think that's kind of true, but also like a lot of these men who are in positions of power in terms of the number of followers they have and the types of demographics of those followers don't understand what happens when they express a strong opinion weaponized against a woman.
He couldn't have anticipated the response.
I don't know if he could have, but I know, like, I don't know. He probably could. Like, none of us.
Back, so he didn't expect the response.
But he's also worried about his bag. Like, he's a host on Netflix and all this other shit, and all these comedians hate him now. So, like, I don't know what. Like, it's all very messy, and it's like I took heart at the fact that a lot of like every comedian except for James Davis, and he even scaled it back. Came to Dina's defense and told everyone to like follow her and support her and protect her so that she can get back into the scene, because it's just like it's such a disproportionate response. But
wasn't there another celebrity?
He said so. James Davis says this is more disrespectful than funny. This murdered young black man who is also a father and a son. He deserves more respect. Rappers dying are funny now. So that's what he said.
That wasn't the butt of the joke.
That wasn't the butt of the joke. I think he was still triggered and recovering from the Nipsey Hussle thing, and he kind of conflated the two into the same issue. And so, you know, his followers went after Dina, and it kind of just like riled up all the trolls to go after Dina.
I had got a little involved because like Jack Knight posted black men doing white women shit to white women 2019 is wild. And I was like, I saw that and I was like she's Arab, but yeah, like in terms of like what he was trying to portray or whatever. And then he was like, nobody cares. And then under that, I was like, well, you might not care, but everybody who thinks that she's who's coming at her like she's an unaware white woman might need to know, you know, or whatever. And then somebody else posted, we don't care. And then like literally for a day and a half, every time someone liked nobody cares because it was added me, it would pop to the top of my Twitter. Throughout the day, I was just like, oh, Paula V, nobody cares. And Jack and I are friends, but like, I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
That just kept popping up.
You know, I think there also has to be some accountability from Comedy Central, because networks choose the clip. They have people select the clip.
I don't think anyone expected this. You know, maybe Comedy Central will now do more research when they post up a clip on who they're, you know, but it's who all the references are, and if maybe they can anticipate a backlash like this, because I don't think anyone really expected it.
But also, like, it's a moment in censorship, right?
Yeah.
Because they took down the clip, but I don't know if it's because they took it down
or
because
her
Dina
management asked to take it down because with the clip still being out there, it was like putting her in danger. Yeah. So she canceled on our show because she's literally, it's unsafe for her to do comedy right now because she's getting death threats. Her mom's address is out there in the internet universe. So it's like people, and you don't know what these people are capable of.
They're just like strangers online threatening.
So she can't really be out and about, posting publicly where she's going to be. So.
And we posted our flyer like right in the midst of this happening, and as soon as
we
Zara
posted it within like 20 minutes, within an hour of it happening, and then all of a sudden these trolls just started.
They just started posting like clown emojis, which I still think is funny because calling a comic a clown is a compliment.
Yeah, and they were like, "You kick her off, take her out," and I'm like, "What? What's going on?" And then I'm like, "Oh, this just happened like 20 minutes ago."
I'm wondering if like we should update that ad, because what if it attracts people who,
I mean, they're not going to find her.
Yeah, they're not going to find her there, but also
maybe we'll get some fans.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that.
Maybe we'll convince them.
I deleted all those trolls, but also those trolls who were commenting, they weren't following us.
Yeah, they were like
they were just like
searching
looking for what she's tagged in
and like going to find her.
And she's tagged in a lot of stuff at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can cancel the promotion, and
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I
told her to let me
know
numbers if she changes her mind, but I totally understand either way. But it's just crazy that people are so triggered they don't even want to comprehend the other side.
But it's also like very ironic that fans of a rapper who was like
abusive towards women
are threatening abuse towards a woman.
Yeah,
because it's just like, do you not see what you're doing? I mean, they're all kids too, so it's like, I don't know. Well, not all of them, but it's ridiculous. I feel bad for her, but I do think she's gonna like come out of this, and she has like a ton of support. And she's so funny. I like looked up her other stuff, and she's so
everybody's on her side, and but it's scary, right? Like, she absolutely does not deserve this. Nobody does.
Yeah.
And she was just doing her job. So it's like, we say crazy ass shit on stage all the time.
I mean, I think
can you imagine if the wrong
network has to take accountability, I think. Because she had a whole set. That's the clip they selected,
Yeah.
But also then, like, what can or can't they post? Like, wouldn't they have gotten mad when it had been released later? Like, people would have seen some part of it.
Well, I think it's just, I don't think she did anything wrong. I don't think anyone did anything wrong, but for the brunt of it to go to her and for them not to, say anything.
Yeah, I would like to know. I would like to know what Comedy
Central
is
is not
doing.
attack.
And you don't know. You don't know. You don't know what's happening.
When you're dealing with television, there's so many layers of people making decisions. So that went through a lot of people probably before they released it. Mm-hmm. So for Dina to be getting all of the heat is not fair, and I hope that the network is standing behind her.
I'm sure they are. I would be surprised if they're not. But it is unfortunate. So yeah, people, it's comedy. If you don't like it, if you don't like a joke, don't like pay attention to it. Change the channel. How
about you direct that wrath towards people in comedy who are actually rapists and assaulters and stuff?
Yeah.
Let's do
well,
that.
They're fans of a person who was being charged with assault, right?
Yeah.
So they're still, that's not a factor.
Yeah. Also, has anyone checked in on the victim? Like his baby mama. Has anyone checked in on her?
Are they looking out
is
for
she
his
offended
family?
by this? Is the family offended by this? I mean, what else matters at the end of the day?
I think people
it's
love
just
getting
so frustrating.
riled up because there's a high you get from getting angry and having a cause, and I think everyone sort of jumped onto this thing, and now it's just it's really spun out of control. This is outrageous. This response is freaking outrageous.
Also, why are people holding comedians responsible or more responsible than our president? And this has been said so many fucking times, but it's like, why do comedians get more backlash than anything that the president says? Like, these are jokes and it's not a presidential address. Like, it's and the context is different. Right? Like, why would you take this clip out of the context of a comedy show made, in the Comedy Cellar, made for a comedy, network, and put it on World Star, where anything that's on World Star is for trolling.
Who put it on World Star?
I don't know who put it on World Star, but that's how it got viral. It showed up on World Star in the morning, and
Okay, so it wasn't even through Comedy Central.
it wasn't.
was
Comedy
pulled from
Central
their
put it on Twitter,
Yeah.
and then someone took that and then put it on World Star. So once it got on World Star, it just blew the fuck up.
How could you see
into
that
this
coming?
controversial thing.
That's the craziest thing is you could never see that coming. How do you deal with that as an artist?
That's why,
Yeah.
like, we have to band together because it could happen to any one of us at
Yeah.
any point.
Yeah,
like,
and if-
anybody could take offense at anything,
Yeah.
and we all, as artists, are constantly like pushing the boundary of expression and like trying to like make people laugh, and in doing so, address like very like raw, painful sometimes topics. And so like we have to like stand by her because it says more about like art in our society right now than anything else.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to James Davis.
I think he'll
the
be
guy who
fine.
said
I think
that.
she'll be fine. It's just gonna, everything is like the news cycle is so quick, and I know that they're all like there are millions of fans that are upset, but I feel like she's gonna come out, and so he is too.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, I don't know. Like I feel like there's such a backlash against him
From the community.
from the comedy community.
Yeah, his own people. Yeah,
So
maybe I don't know.
But I think, I'm not sure that he could even have anticipated what, a shitstorm it turned into. Maybe he thought he was just making a comment. Unless he's, I didn't see it, so I don't know if he actually sicked
I think
people. Maybe he did.
I think this is a moment though where like honestly like male celebrities with large followings that are like very like bro-y or like antagonistic towards women need to take some responsibility when they do this, because they like are directing a mob almost. Like
yeah,
yeah,
well, now
I
there's a
mean-
history of it. Now you
but-
can see
yeah.
what happens. Take
Yo,
that
all
into
these
account.
male comics that have a following, they refer to it as my mom, my clan, my army, And so if you're going to say something as divisive as what James Davis said, was like, oh, like accusing this woman of saying rappers dying are funny now, like why would you do that? You have like millions of followers. What do you think your people are gonna do?
He sicked his
Like
James
what do you
Nation.
like if you say something like
branding
that, but if you say something like that, right? Like it's a direct attack against
Yeah.
against
I've
it's-
seen it-
what do you think was going to
I've
happen?
seen it on a smaller level where
Yeah.
like I have like Twitter famous friends and like these male comedians with like bro-y followings like retweeted and made fun of them, and these bitches are at home like crying while these male celebrities have no fucking clue what they've just done, because
Yeah.
like these women are getting like DM'd and like
Yeah.
all this hate or whatever.
Yeah.
So just
And
maybe
it's-
be more conscious of the effects, the consequences of your actions.
And
But
also,
we were-
like, if he's, that means he has made it so that he can never tell a rapper joke again, like a
Yeah.
dead like he is censoring himself by accusing her. He is limiting his art.
Yeah.
It's like he's shooting himself in the foot.
But you said he was probably triggered
He
from
was
the
like,
Nipsey
yeah,
that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I'm
because he was a
sure.
big Nipsey fan and all of that. But it's like,
But we say all the time, like,
Yeah.
you can be offended by one thing, you may not be offended by another topic.
Yeah.
If it's funny, it's funny.
it's
like,
very frustrating. Like there was a thread on, like I commented about this because I was really disappointed, and I was also saying like anyone who has kids who are fans of this guy, like say something to them, because death threats, no matter like whether the joke was funny or not, death threats
Yeah.
are absolutely not funny.
That's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable. So if you have any influence on this generation, tell them that. But this one dude, I guess he grew up in the inner city and he just felt personally triggered. He just went to town on he just started it was like reactionary posts and just started attacking everyone on this thread. So I had to block him.
Your thread.
Yeah, block him from that post. But
Yeah.
it's just people need to realize that nothing is meant to be a personal attack towards you, especially not jokes. So if you take something so personally and it aggravates you to your core, that is a you problem.
And it's something to work on.
Yeah, that
on
is
your own time.
That is
Like-
definitely something to work on. Yeah.
Progress, not perfection.
Right.
But
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it is surprising to hear a comedian make that sort of.
To be
criticism.
upset about the content rather than whether the joke was funny or not, right? Because he was
Yeah.
upset that it was about the shooting of or he thought it was about the shooting of a rapper.
So ultimately, I think it just comes down to people take stuff too personally.
They do.
Yo, we're just supposed to have fun with this shit.
Yeah,
We're just
it's
supposed to be
fucking
joking
comedy show.
around. We joke
Also-
about every horrible shit all the time.
if it was a bad joke, if it was not funny, nobody in the room would have laughed. Okay.
And no comedian would be as defensive.
Exactly.
We'd be
Nobody,
like, yeah, that wasn't funny.
nobody would
Yeah.
have laughed. So you could tell it was taken out of context because there were laughs. Those were real laughs on that clip, right? So in that context, it was funny. If you weren't there, maybe it was you had to be there moment. If you don't find it
The
funny,
joke hit.
yeah,
You don't have to
I
like
thought
it.
it was funny.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm like personally like I feel so bad. I know she's gonna get past it, but
But what a
it's just it's like that
What
could
a
be
shit
any
show.
that could be us at any moment,
At any
right?
point, any
At
part
any
of
any comic.
we put out
Yeah.
content for people's entertainment,
Yeah.
and a lot of it is free.
Yeah.
A lot like Twitter, Instagram, like these are all free things that we put out in the hopes to like build our careers, to connect with people, to like share our art. And at any point, any part of it could be, so many clips of ours could be taken out of context
so
and
many.
put viral, and like
Yeah.
we could be canceled or whatever. And it's just like at what cost are you willing to like are you willing to sacrifice artists? Like, is that what that's like when you attack us?
It's scary.
That is the decision you have to make.
But this is the thing that keeps happening, but now it's like it's close to home, right? But like a few months ago, Kevin Hart got canceled from the Oscars because of a tweet from like 8-9 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's like, why are we holding comedians to a higher standard?
the Melissa Villaseñor incident, right when she got SNL, when they pulled an old tweet.
Trevor Noah, same thing.
Trevor Noah,
But
and-
it's like I think these people were in like higher positions of power, and I think it hits closer to us because she's like more like now she's very well known. But
she's very well known. But she was supposed to do her show.
Yeah,
you
she's
know,
like-
like
She was breaking out.
you know, and we were excited to have her, and it's like she's, you know, it's kind of like, how dare how dare you do this to my sisterhood? You know,
Yeah.
like what is wrong with you people? Like we're just out here trying to make people laugh, and we're doing it. She's doing a great job.
Well, she shouldn't have to fear for her life.
Exactly.
She didn't.
Exactly.
She didn't kill anyone.
Yeah.
She didn't hurt anyone's family.
Yeah.
She's not a rapist. There's
Exact-
plenty
She's
of
not-
rapists out here living their best lives.
she's also
Yeah.
like not encouraging like hate speech or any of that
None
stuff.
of
Like
that.
she's not putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
And she said his death in itself is not funny. That's not the comedy,
She said it
Yeah.
was very tragic.
It was
Yeah.
tragic.
as it was.
I think people are just offended because she's like people think that she's appropriating Black culture by using that premise.
She's also
I
white
don't think
passing.
she-
I think.
I don't think
So-
she's.
Yeah.
I don't think they. I think that's a.
I've heard
not
that.
appropriating?
I've heard so many different versions of this, of like people being offended by it in the past
how's
like
that
3 days.
appropriating?
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
it's-
that's
actually
not even the-
appropriation. It's
yeah.
just what's being thrown. These
How are they
buzzwords.
Yeah,
are
these
being
arguing?
thrown out.
buzzwords and stuff, but it's like, who else carries $50,000 of cash around them?
It's targeting.
It's targeting
Not-
it's
yeah.
targeting like rappers. It's targeting people who carry around like loads of money to make purchases and stuff like that. And
so
I'm
But yeah,
like, what's
like they make fun of each other all the goddamn time. Why can't we make fun of people?
yeah, but
It's
an
like
Arab
lighthearted.
American does that, and because she's white passing, everyone's like, no, she's wrong. Like she should die. Like what's
Well, look,
wrong with you people?
The intention of a joke is to bring joy and laughter, not to
Yeah.
hurt someone.
Yeah.
I am 100% certain it wasn't her intention to hurt anyone.
That was
She
not
said
her
that
intention.
in her apology
Yeah.
too.
Which also, I don't think she should have apologized. But
I don't think so
that's just
either. But
me.
she was also getting death threats. So
Yeah.
like, when
Yeah.
push comes to shove, we have no idea how we're gonna react to just ease that up. So I'm
Yeah.
not judging her for it.
Well, also, it's just like, it wasn't her intention to offend. So if people are really taking this to heart, like if people are devastated upon hearing that joke, I'm sure
Yeah.
she's not thrilled about that. She's not getting, she's not happy about that. So I understand. I hope, sending her lots of love
Yeah.
Yeah, Dina, we're with you.
at the FRC support. Did you
Yo,
see?
I hope she ends up like on Joe Rogan and the Breakfast Club.
Oh,
and
She
all of
went
that.
from like 10K to like 50K
Yeah.
followers overnight. So, and those are like, I hope all of those are like
Yeah.
actually supportive people. So like this has put her on the map, even though it's like a very
a controversy,
controversial
but, I
moment.
mean-
But like now we know everybody knows she's a good writer. And I was
Yeah.
looking at her other
And her-
YouTube videos, her roasts, it was so funny.
Yeah,
It was
she's
great.
great.
Her platform, you said quadrupled.
Yeah.
Or no, more. What-
10 to 50.
Yeah.
And then I think her Twitter,
more
she
than
also had to like shut down her Twitter a little bit, like, or make it private. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she,
Sort of like, I think going back to like canceling people and jumping on people. Did you guys see the Aziz special?
oh my God. I watched the first few minutes and I had to shut it off. I couldn't.
I actually liked it, and
Really?
yeah, I did.
I I haven't seen it yet.
When did you? Because did you just watch?
It was like I watched the apology and I was waiting for something like more.
He goes back into it.
Yeah, but I heard it wasn't satisfying either. So so at the beginning, he's in his Metallica shirt. He casually walks on stage. Very different vibe than the Aziz we know.
Okay.
Very like.
So he's not
"Hey,
running
guys."
around and like
No.
my cousin Harris.
He literally is sitting. He's sitting on a stool. He's
Okay.
like, this is a camera. It's not just random. And he's like, his demeanor, his cadence, everything changed. He's wearing a Metallica shirt.
Okay, so he's being like his
person.
normal self.
He's
He's
being
being
a
a
human.
person.
I didn't view it that way. I viewed
Okay.
it as like him knowing he had to be humble and doing that.
Well, he
Yeah.
probably
It
also
seemed-
did know that.
It seemed like
Does it seem
seemed
contrived?
faked.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
I don't
he
know.
he
like
didn't buy it.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was like he brought it up. He joked about blaming it on Hassan basically. There was a joke that was funny where he blamed that part. People were like, "Oh, was this you?" And he was like, "Yeah, that was me." "Was this you?" "Yeah, that was me." "Was that sexual thing?" He was like, "No, that was Hassan." Like, yeah. So that was funny. And then he goes into it, and he basically, what I took from it was he said, "I feel bad that she felt that way," and then he said there were silver linings. Like my friends learned, like I feel bad, but there were silver linings. My friends like learned a lot from it. And like made themselves question themselves. So that's like how I feel about it. And he's like, sorry to start this off so heavy. So like what frustrated me was it felt like he knew he had to address it because he had seen what had happened with Louis and the backlash with Louis just like pretending nothing had ever happened after 9 months. And so I felt like he knew he had to address it, but then he didn't fully take responsibility and say, I did a bad thing. He said, I felt bad, she felt that way. And that frustrated me. And it also frustrated me that I'm just tired of hearing men talk about their feelings when they hurt women.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was not about her. It was about, well, I feel this way, and my male friends are reevaluating. And it's like, I'm kind of tired of that. I don't know how he would have spun it. I'm not sure. But that bothered me. And then the other thing was, he was like, okay, now that we've done that, let's talk about how crazy the world is. And it's like, the world is crazy partially right now with the Me Too movement. Can you put this in context? Can you, like you could have built this whole bit around it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have talked about it more. Like, but he moved on to like politics. And then I think he talked about like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, which are not like what he did, but it's like there is a spectrum, right? And it, like, and he's on the very end of it compared to like.
Was it kind of like, hey, I did something kind of weird, but these guys are horrible.
No. He just brought them up separately as though he was completely disconnected from it.
I mean, I have to say I did like his special. I think it was
I've been
way
hearing
better
good
than I
things.
expected
Yeah.
because I had no expectations going into it because, based on when Louis came out, he didn't even acknowledge it. I was like, well, is he going to even...
It was just hard for me to watch after that.
And I get that.
So I just turned it off.
And I get that. I'm angry. Like, I just sometimes wake up just angry at men. So really, they could do anything and I'll just be like, fuck you. But like... I think he made a thoughtful piece. I thought his special was thoughtful. I think he made some great points, especially about the cancellation culture, about, how we're not taking into consideration the era in which a lot of these tweets were released in. What was the cultural context back then? Was it offensive back then? If it wasn't offensive, how can we, pull it out of 2001 and crucify them for now? They might be a different fucking person.
I'm sure like all of those points were great and like I'd agree with them.
But it wasn't enough.
But I could not get past. It's hard for me,
get
especially with stand-ups, when they lose authority for me on stage, then I'm just like, why am I watching you? Do you know what I mean? Like, once I found out that Louis was doing that shit, I was like, why would I listen to you for advice or opinions about anything else? Like,
well, it's crazy.
It's kind of like
you've already for so long,
and
no one did anything.
Yeah,
you've already canceled him for yourself. So it's like very hard for you to.
Yeah, I feel like maybe what would have comforted me personally is if they had been like, I did a bad thing. I was a bad guy in that moment. I'm trying not to be that guy. But it just felt like he was like, I'm sorry you felt that way. Like to the girl.
So he never admitted like, oh, I was being hasty, I was being creepy.
Well, it could also, like, that's the thing, is everyone makes mistakes. So, I mean, yeah, maybe his wording wasn't... Do you think that there needs to be fault in the situation? Like, someone needs to acknowledge fault? Or
I think people need to take responsibility.
Accountability.
Accountability, yes.
Okay.
Not fault necessarily, but say what you... I know it's so hard to spin it, but he also was like, that was heavy and just moved on. So it wasn't like that part was a joke either. Yeah,
I mean, the special to me became stronger after that. Like, at the beginning was fine. It became like, it built into something that was, engaging.
Did he say anything else about it?
he circles back to it at the end. I'd say just watch it. I'd like to hear your opinion after you finish it, if you want to watch it.
I'll
You don't
try
have to. I mean, like, there's so many things to do. Like, don't focus on what you don't want to focus on.
Yeah, I don't
but-
think I'm gonna get to watch it until after we get back from New York. It's probably gonna be a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a priority for me. Also, watching stand-up specials are not always a priority for me. You
But
know?
you're watching stand-up every night.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's tiring. sometimes.
I generally like watching stand-up specials like while I'm working or something.
It's
'cause I'm at my
inspiring.
computer.
Yeah,
It's
that-
inspiring, and it's also
Yeah.
like it's just fun. Like I feel like happy that I still enjoy watching good stand-up.
What's the last one you guys watched? I think I just watched. I found
Oh,
Patrice
Wanda.
O'Neill's. I found Elephant in the Room on I think YouTube.
nice.
So I was watching that.
I watched
again.
Ellen's. I think
watched
that was the
Wanda
last
and
one
I
I
watched-
actually watched.
Wanda Sykes is really good.
Yeah, Wanda's is really
I
good.
started watching it.
I
Oh,
loved
no.
Ellen's too.
I started watching it. I don't think I was in the right like energy space to watch that.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like you have to really be in the mood for stand up.
I also liked. I know a lot of people hate him, or I don't know. I've heard weird, but I liked Anthony Jeselnik's.
I didn't watch it.
I liked his. There were like definitely like I feel like with his stand up, if you're a comic, you're like trying to finish the joke. You're like, oh, like how does he puzzle this one together? Is he gonna like get me? And I feel like there were a bunch where I was like, oh, I got it, and then there were a bunch where I was like still surprised, and I was like, oh, that's so clever. That's like such good writing. But I don't know.
Yeah. What else did I watch? Tambourine. I
Oh,
go
yeah,
back
that
and
was a
watch
while
like a
ago.
lot of
with Chris Rock.
favorite specials. Yeah, I watched that twice. I think I watched it when it came out, and then more recently.
I don't know. I think I'm more of a punchline person
What do you mean?
because I don't have the attention span otherwise.
For
Like I'm just like okay, where's the punchline? Where's the punchline? Where's the punchline? And like now, I mean, we've talked about this. It's like people are like not doing the whole premise setup punchline. They're kind of going into these stories and all of that.
Do you not? But do you enjoy that just as like just watching it? If it wasn't labeled stand up or whatever, would you still be entertained? Like Mike
Maybe.
Birbiglia is a
I
storyteller.
like Mike a lot.
Okay,
I
so you-
like his
yeah.
storytelling. I like Mike Birbiglia. I like
but like Hassan.
Hassan too. Yeah. Jim Gaffigan, I think, is freaking hysterical.
Did you like Hannah Gatsby's? Did you?
We've talked about this, right?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it,
Oh yeah.
honestly.
I liked it as a piece of art.
Yeah, I actually liked it. I thought the first half was funny in a very subtle way. Like it was understated.
Who is it that does
But
like
I thought it-
impressions? Chloe, what's her name? She has the perfect Hannah Gadsby impression. It's so good.
Who is Hannah Gatsby?
Chloe is crazy on Instagram. Chloe Feynman.
She did Nanette.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it was
Okay.
so funny.
I'm looking forward to Kathy Griffin's like documentary /
Yes.
special that's going to be coming out.
People were saying like we have to pay attention to that with given the context with the Dina Hashem
Yeah.
stuff because Kathy had all this backlash against from the Trumps with the
So for our
bloodied-
listeners, Kathy Griffin is the comedian. She's pretty much a household name. She's the one where 2 years ago, like a few
She-
months after Trump got elected, she had the one with like
She
a
held
had
up
a
a fake severed
picture.
head.
yeah,
yeah,
like a
with
fake
like
severed head of
ketchup
Trump.
on it, and it was
Yeah.
like a photo that I think she talks about it on like Breakfast Club and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
like a photo that I think she didn't realize like where it was being released, and like there was like I don't know, it just came out very quickly, and then the Trumps themselves like started targeting her, and then she got blacklisted from a fuck ton of things, and she had to like lay low for a long time, and then also like
She's
now
on
she's
the
on
no-fly
tour.
list.
She gets stopped in every like country, and
Yeah.
now she's on tour, and she has to like rent the venues herself. Like with her own money.
But
and
she's
then
a smart
promote.
woman. She owns rights to all of her specials.
Yeah.
I heard.
That's good. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but still, that's bullshit. Why she gets canceled, but for holding like a fake, President Trump head, and it's symbolic of something.
Yeah.
And Trump can actually grab a woman's pussy, admit to it, and then it's all good, right?
And
Yeah.
children at the border are still dying. So
Children. Yeah. It's crazy.
And on that note, I'm probably gonna head out soon.
But yeah, that's coming out. It's gonna be like a documentary, like
Yeah.
her documentary of her experience in the last, the Trumpocalypse that hit her essentially, and then it's gonna be her stand-up special, and it's being released in theaters all over the country.
Yeah.
Not like every theater, so yeah, go look it up, and if you're a fan, go watch it. I'm
Or if
just
you
so
wanna
interested to see
learn
that.
more
Yeah.
about like censorship and like she's very knowledgeable about like her rights.
Yeah.
Because she had to be.
Well,
so
she's
that's-
always been like that edgy comedian, right? So I think she early on she got used to backlash, so she became very knowledgeable about
Yeah.
what her rights are, freedom of speech, what she's allowed to say.
But especially with this incident, she
yeah.
was like, I had to like dive into
Yeah.
everything and like know my rights everywhere.
Yeah, she said she spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees already just because of this whole.
Have you guys ever gone back and like deleted old tweets?
I have.
I haven't fully like I've deleted like random ones that I was like, this one doesn't seem that nice, or it's like not my style or whatever. But I haven't deleted ones that I thought were like too harsh or like
Yeah.
or that somebody else might get offended. Like I haven't done that.
I mean, I've had Twitter since I think 2009 or
Yeah.
early, so it's just like I don't know what I posted.
Yeah, I mean,
when
I've
was-
had
Posted a lot
social
of
media
bad butt
since-
jokes at the beginning.
I've had social media since before I started comedy. So I
Yeah,
went back
same.
and I like archived and like removed a lot of things that were like very personal and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know.
That's
But yeah, sometimes if I'm like if the bitter is coming off too much or something, I may like revisit it and I'm like, all right, I was in a bad headspace during this time.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
get rid of it. Yeah, because that stuff's forever. It's like it's a publication.
Yeah, and you could get canceled for it, apparently. You could not host the fucking Oscars, or you can't, like,
Yeah, but
you
it's
never
like
know.
everything's a risk. So like if I feel good about the joke or like my personality in it, then I'm like I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, I made a joke that I deleted because I was like, I would not say that today.
Yeah.
Because there was an element of body shaming a woman. And I was like, well, I wouldn't stand behind that today. And it's not, to me, I don't need it to be there. So I just deleted it.
Yeah. I also, we have a friend who was attempting to get on TV and they made her delete a bunch of stuff. And then they ended up saying she was like too risky for TV anyways, which is ridiculous. But like that kind of weirded me out. I was like, oh, like this is also something we might have to do once we get on TV or get different opportunities. Like those people might say like, hey, delete this. And I wonder how I will react.
Did they tell her she has unpopular opinions? Is this who we're talking about?
I think
yeah.
you're talking about someone else.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Someone who was in our green room a little while ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy
She
though?
couldn't get through legal, she said.
Yeah.
The legal team, her joke, because she couldn't use the word feminism.
What?
white woman.
Yeah, it's a buzzword.
Was it white woman? Maybe it was white woman.
You know what it is? So it's like network. It was like one of the big ones. It was
Yeah.
like NBC, ABC, stuff like that. So there's like few trigger words that like they don't want to be associated with those.
Network
at all.
has the harshest censorship standards.
And then
because it
like
has the most
and then once you
exposure.
get to like the Comedy Central and like the Fuse TV and
Cable and all
stuff like
that.
that, like that you have a little bit more leniency. Like there's stuff you could say on Conan that you can't say on, you know,
Yeah,
like,
on Colbert.
on Colbert, yeah.
Would you guys delete stuff if TV asked you to?
I mean,
yeah.
I think
I think I would.
I mean, I think it'd be a case by case thing, but probably. I mean, because if it was something stupid that I didn't care about and it was
Yeah.
a big deal. If it was something that I fundamentally disagreed with, I might have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take it wouldn't be a line in the sand necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, network television is
I mean, I wouldn't
notoriously
care
rigid.
honestly because tweets get buried.
Well, it's just
So
the idea of someone controlling your comedy, I guess.
Yeah,
Like
that's-
outside of it,
that
that's
sucks.
like the
Well,
idea
if
of
you're
it.
doing TV, you're already going into this is someone else is controlling this environment unless it's your own show.
Right, but it's like
So-
it's your social media, but you're on TV. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so there's some separation
Well,
there.
I think
that
they're
I'm
also
like,
it's like protecting the brand because
Yeah.
if you get canceled, then the whole let's say this is about a show they're building around you, the whole fucking show gets canceled.
Yeah.
Those are all the people who everyone loses jobs. So I think there's a lot of stake and they're very risk averse.
Yeah. But I think like there has to be people like slowly like pushing it open,
Well,
Like
yeah.
with like the whole Roseanne thing, she was like xenophobic and like full of hate and that stuff. So that like I kind of like I'm fine with like people like canceling her over that because it's like why would you want to watch a show that's like run by someone like that? You know what I mean? But it's like if I'm making a sex joke and they're like we don't want a woman saying this or like saying the words white woman, like that's I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know.
I don't know
it's-
how I'd feel about it. It depends on case by case, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to be censored as an artist, But then who wants to be canceled as a person?
That should be the title. I feel like that's so like that's a perfect Fizza moment.
Who wants? Yeah. So Paul, we still are gonna do a little more podcast, but Paul V's gonna head out to his show. Is that where you're going?
Yep.
Uber's here. Lyft.
Yep.
Go do
You
some
live, not Uber.
comedy.
Kill it.
Have
fun.
Bye.
So now it's Zara and I.
Hi, people.
I've seen a lot of you. We did a road trip.
We did a road trip yesterday. I didn't ask you about your recent date.
Oh yeah, well, I'll have to catch you up, P. But have fun at your show. Yeah, that's true. It was good. The food was amazing.
Oh yeah, where'd you guys go?
I think there's this place in Santa Monica. Well, I don't think I was there, but I think it's called Casilla, and it is a Southeast Asian fusion restaurant, and it was literally the best food I've had in my entire life.
What?
And I don't talk in hyperbole that much.
So this person's a foodie.
Yeah.
Made the right restaurant choice. Okay, and did he pay?
Yeah.
What?
Of course he paid.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
I don't even know why I'm so surprised because apparently, I don't know. I like it when a guy pays.
I mean,
if he wants to be the man in the relationship,
I think we all do.
If you want to flex,
so
then buy the fucking meal. If you want to flex, otherwise let me flex.
I'm so glad that I convinced you to give this guy a chance. I feel like you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. He did that thing where he beelined to me at this party, and I wasn't there for all of that.
Okay, so for our listeners, this is the story of how they met.
Yeah,
right?
it's a guy I went on one date with.
Yeah.
But Zara's always trying to get me to
I'm
to go on
trying to
dates.
get everyone to find love because it's a great thing once you find it.
I'm finding love within myself,
I know,
Zara.
I know, but it's fun to be wooed and let
You want to go on
someone-
double dates, don't you? You want to go on
I
double
do want some cool couples to go on double dates with because I'm getting bored of my boyfriend. No, but it would be cool just to have cool people because comics tend to be single, so it's very hard to
Yeah.
find comics to go out with.
Or an open
And-
relationship.
Or open fucking or polyamorous relationships and stuff.
I'm open to different paradigms for relationships, but
I am once I've been with the same person for over a decade. Then if I'm bored, I'm like, all right, let's figure out something new. But
is this your longest relationship?
this one,
Yeah.
no, I was in a relationship when I was younger. I used to I was just always a serial monogamous. Yeah, I think my longest relationship was probably 3.5 or 4 years.
Mine
Yeah.
was 4.5.
Yeah.
And since then, I have not had a long-term relationship.
Because I think after that, it's just in at least the major cities, no one believed in long-term relationships anymore. And once you get into a relationship, you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get married. It's kind of that's how
Yeah.
I think that's how men treat it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
A girlfriend is oh, I'm committing to this woman forever, and that's not what it is.
Yeah, why do they call what is all this?
Because it's all oh, my
No,
wifey.
A wife is a wife
Yeah, no,
with
yeah.
a commitment. It's not a commitment.
Yeah.
If it's which is fine.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how I personally feel about marriage. I don't know that it's for me, but be honest with yourself.
Yeah. 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 Early on, my boyfriend and I would get into this argument with he's like, but we're a team. We should be functioning as a team. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Did you ask me to be a part of your team? Because for me, when I think of a team, I think of a household, a cohesive unit. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so you're already thinking that we're there, even though I'm waiting for
Yeah.
you to ask me a question or tell me okay, you're committed, and he was already
It's why do you want us to put all of our eggs in your basket?
exactly
And
give
we
me
don't
a
even know
reason.
that there's a basket.
What if I'm still evaluating you as a team member, what if I'm still in the draft process?
Good
you
point.
know?
And that is all. I think that is the case until you're married,
Yeah, and I think
which might not be a popular sentiment.
well,
for-
I think men forget that when they get comfortable that we're still in the draft process, so don't get too comfortable because you could get traded at any time. Is that the sports analogy? You could get traded.
or just cut.
I don't know.
Because if trading is if you passed them off to a girlfriend.
That's true. But then I would
And
get
swapped.
something else. I would get something else.
You get
Hopefully
hers.
I would get a better deal out of it. I don't know. But I don't know. But, okay, so this guy, he actually took you out on a real date.
Yeah, he was really cool.
Oh, at this party. So, sorry, you guys met at the party.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it because I wasn't in the headspace. I wasn't really looking for all of that. And
He
was
saw
very...
you across the room, and he was like, that one.
Yeah, see, the last time that happened, that turned into a fucking dumpster fire.
Oh, man.
But,
it's LA. There's a lot of dumpster fires.
I know. They just don't start out so pretty.
Okay, so he made a beeline, and you weren't impressed.
No, he got me a drink. Well, he insisted on getting a drink, and I was like, okay. And while he was waiting for the drink, I was like, let me go talk to someone I want to talk to. And then I left, and then I came back, and then got the drink, and then he just followed me the entire night.
So he was ordering you a drink, and you didn't stay and talk to him?
No, I didn't want to.
And then he brought you your drink?
Yeah, he brought me my drink.
While you were talking to somebody else at the party?
Yeah, I mean, probably the birthday boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a mutual friend.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't, I didn't know him. Even still now, I don't feel, my emotional capacity, I feel like, is sort of limited. I feel emotionally unavailable because of, healing and shit.
Yeah.
But.
Still healing from a previous trash fire.
Yeah, I mean, aren't we all in LA?
Sort of, yeah. Okay.
But
okay,
he was so persistent. He was so persistent, and you
made me interview him.
I know. I was such
It was a quick interview because we were at the same party, and so Fizza pulled me over, and she's like,
should I go out with him?
So I asked him a few questions, and they were all the right answers. And I was like, you should absolutely go out with him.
I mean, I'm trying to give more people chances. Like, I don't want to write someone off or, like, he was so cool because he liked that I called him out because I think I told him that it was very obvious he was hitting on me and he didn't realize that. And I was like, what?
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's just, it was a lot of thirst and I wasn't in the headspace for
got
it.
Like he was showing all his cards way too soon.
I mean, he was following me around.
He was eager.
And me, I'm like sort of more independent, so it's really like, it feels like a lot if someone feels like they're like attached to the hip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know you.
That's another thing that guys do. Just because you get us a drink does not mean that you like own us for the night.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
So I don't know.
It means I let you buy me something.
It's like a conversation if that goes well. It's kind of like okay, let's see if this conversation goes well, and hopefully, like, I'll give you my number. It's not a follow me around for the rest of the night type of thing.
But he ended up being really sweet. He's cool. He's used to he's not a comedian. That's a plus. Yeah. But he's used to hanging around a lot of comedians, which is also a plus because the lifestyle's not foreign to him.
He understands. He can somewhat understand the struggle.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was cool. He's a good guy. I'd go out with him again.
I thought he was handsome.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm not attracted to men until I'm attracted to their personality. Right. I can, like, and
No, there's some guys that you straight up are like, you're hot.
Yeah, but they're like this sort of this, Adonis thing. But I don't feel like that was necessarily this guy either.
I think he's attractive. Like, I would have swiped right on him.
Yeah.
He's definitely, he's a guy you swipe right on.
Cool.
Like, you, like, kind of analyze it for a little bit, and you're like, yeah, sure, why not?
There's nothing terrible.
There's no red flag, on paper or on the smartphone screen,
But
so
yeah, he's a good guy. The food was insane. Like he's great. The food is amazing. I cannot talk about the food enough. Like the guy's great, but the food is unreal.
Can this restaurant be a sponsor of ours? What are they called? Cassia?
Cassia, Cassia.
Okay, cool.
I love food, but I'm not like a foodie per se. But this was.
I'm gonna bookmark it. I'm a foodie. I want to go.
Just the most unique, fulfilling cuisine I've had. And at least 7 years.
What? It's that good?
At least.
It's that good?
It stood out.
You've had a lot of meals in 7 years.
Yeah, I've had a lot. Yeah.
What?
Highly recommend this restaurant. It's in Santa Monica, I believe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll put it on my date night list.
It's kind of pricey.
Is it a date night kind of place?
Yeah, because it's kind of pricey.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It was his idea, too. He picked the restaurant.
He is wooing you.
He asked me to go sailing the other day.
Oh yeah, but we were flying around Orange County.
Yeah. You're.
Okay, so are you gonna go sailing before the summer's over?
I mean, I get motion sick, so I don't know.
You have C-bands.
I do have C-bands.
I used C-bands for the first time yesterday because Fizza and I were on a road trip, and it was the first time I was nauseous for like 2 hours. It was crazy.
That sucks. Yeah.
They worked. I don't know
They
what it
do. I was so the way it works, it's acupressure. It's super simple. There's no drugs. It's literally just a wristband that has something that puts a little pressure a few inches above the base of your wrist. And there's a pressure point there that stops you from feeling nauseous, and it actually works.
It worked, yeah, because by the time I got on stage, I wasn't feeling nauseous. So that was good.
I had them on when I did like some boat trip a while ago, and I was the only person on the boat who didn't throw up. And I get motion sick, so that was, I mean, that's just a testament to. And they're $7, or when I bought them, they were $7.
That's crazy.
Highly recommend. I think one time I was like on a cruise, and someone gave me Dramamine, and I slept the entire time.
Okay, so why don't you wear these C-bands and go sailing with the dude?
I don't know. I still have some resistance, I think, to being vulnerable around men.
Yeah, I understand that. But also, yeah, when you're sailing, you're kind of trapped at sea.
Yeah, I mean,
there aren't really like escape routes.
You know, it's not something I'd be thrilled to do. Like, it's like, okay, well, maybe it'd be fun, but like, I'm just, it's not on my bucket list. Like, oh, I need to go sailing. Yeah. But it might be, it's a cool, novel experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, sailing kind of seems like a very unique experience to do with the guys.
But like, what about parasailing? That would be kind of...
But that's like a vacation thing.
Yeah,
which you could still do. You could still do it in Santa Monica.
So...
Did you forget we live in a vacation destination? Like, we could go parasailing and kayaking and all that shit here. You know?
Yeah, I've been parasailing. And that's actually the trip where everyone threw up on the boat. And
my God.
Yeah,
I haven't been parasailing in years. I need a real vacation.
I know.
I haven't been on one of those. Because all the vacations turn into comedy.
I know.
Comedy and food.
Well, like, okay, so we're doing New York at the end of August, and right after our show, we're having a family reunion in Tennessee. And I don't think I'm doing any comedy.
Why
that
are
weekend.
you doing a reunion in Tennessee?
I didn't choose
Why
it.
are a
so
bunch of brown people getting together in the middle of Tennessee for a family reunion? Who lives there?
No one. It's just sort of
a
like
central location.
Central, and you can get like a big ass house, and like the whole family can stay there.
So you guys are like Airbnb-ing a huge house.
I'm not planning it. Like there's people in my family who are really great at that.
Okay,
I'm just,
so
like,
you have
tell me where to
family.
send the check.
So you have family coming from Florida. That's your family.
Yeah.
But then you have family in Texas too, right?
Texas, Ohio, families everywhere. Family in New York.
Okay.
You know, like
Ohio.
Sister, cousins.
So yeah, I guess Tennessee is.
Is there someone in California? Everyone's everywhere. So I don't know. Everyone, but like, the family bases are for like that side of the family were Florida, Ohio, and Texas, which now I'm thinking of like in the context of voting, and I'm like, ooh.
You got Trump fans in your
not in my family, not in my family, but just those
just
would
where
not,
they live.
That's where I wouldn't settle in any of those locations, with exception to Miami or Austin.
Austin's pretty great.
But those are oases.
Yes, in predominantly red states.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how are we on time?
We're at like 55. Oh.
53. Okay. I feel like I've been interviewing you about your dates.
I know. I mean, I don't know. Tell me what it's like to be in a relationship.
What?
What is it like to be in love?
What is it like? It's cool. I like it.
What's the benefit?
What's the benefit? What's the benefit?
Why is this something I even want? Because to me, it's just a lot of hassle.
You know what? It's someone who checks in on you, so that's good.
What if I have that? Oh, but what if he gets a girlfriend?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Do I need to marry this dude?
The guy who checks in on you, what if he gets a girlfriend? Yeah, like this, he checks in on me. He's always there, like, when I have a bad day. Just like a confidant. Like, it's like having a best friend who also rubs your feet. and makes you dinner.
Foot rubs.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why we get in
Yeah,
relationships.
foot rubs. Yeah,
Got it.
some days it's pretty much the foot rub.
I'm
That's it.
sold. That's
Yeah.
gonna be our next date.
Yeah.
Is a foot rub.
Um,
That's what some of these trash
but,
fires get
okay.
you, man.
Okay, so for me, I feel like
Like,
foot
rub
rub.
my feet and I'll be like, "Oh, it's-"
but like foot rub for me is like post fifth date. Like it takes a while for
Well,
me
you
to
have a-
work up. I've been-
People fetishize your feet.
Yes, so I'm very like possessive about my feet. Like you can't touch my feet unless you're a masseuse or I've known you for a very long time.
Unless you're worthy.
Unless you're worthy. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
See, I'm just excited when people aren't like scared of my feet.
Why? Because they're big?
I have long, skinny feet, you know, like most of my limbs, they're just long and skinny. So they're not, you know, like people like sample size. Not even sample size for shoe. Like what do they have on the display? 5.5, 6?
It's usually a 7. 7 is like the standard shoe size for women, like across the board, at least in America anyway. But yeah, they tend to have the smallest one, so 5 or 5.5. But those fly like off the shelves because there's only a few of us with that shoe size, and they never make enough of it. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm 9, so I'm not like.
Oh, you're on the other end then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's always a 9 available, right?
Yeah, 9's a common size, but it's on the larger side.
Yeah.
But like, I
Yeah.
guess like, I mean, it kind of matches my height, but then I don't know. There's some people who are tall with tiny feet too. So
I haven't seen that. Well, actually, no. I have a cousin who's like 5'7", and she's the same shoe size as me.
oh god,
is
how does she
weird.
stand?
I don't
Can
know.
you topple over?
I don't know. But this is like a baby cousin of mine. Yeah. So she just had a baby, and she's
How'd
like,
she balance?
I don't know. It was very. I was like, "Did you make it? Is everything okay?" She's like, "Yeah, but I'm sad to say we're no longer the same shoe size." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." So I think pregnancy does that to you. It makes you like go up a size, and you may not ever recover.
Yeah, I think that happened
Yeah.
with my mom.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so I don't know. You might have to sell me on the pregnancy bit also, because I'm just like, why?
I don't know if I'm sold on the pregnancy thing.
Really?
But I am sold on like having another me. You know, like if maybe
To traumatize.
no. I think just to prove that I could do a better job than my parents. Like I think I would just do that. But also, I'm just curious now. I think I'm just curious, like how I would do, and what it would look like, and yeah.
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 I'm not that curious about it.
You know what?
I
wasn't.
imagine.
Okay,
That's-
I was not curious until I found this guy.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm like,
true.
with you, I'm curious. Like that would be something cool to see. I
That's
think.
true. When you're in love, it's
Yeah.
different.
But like I feel like I've been in love before, and I was like, I'm never reproducing with these idiots. You
Well,
know?
you had a lot more clarity than a lot of us then. Because there's definitely been people I was like, this is a dumpster fire. Why do I want to have kids with this person? I don't even understand.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think I've always been like in my mind searching for a husband, so I would always be like, "Oh, can I share a mortgage with this guy? Can I like do this with this guy? Can I like build a life with this guy?" And it was never before this one, I was never able to like answer those questions the way I
Yeah.
wanted. But like with this one, it seems like yeah, I think it could work, you know. I mean, he's really boring sometimes because he's an introvert, but other than that, like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. You always have someone to eat with, you know, so that's good. I like cooking, so there's always someone to try out my like disasters or my successes in the kitchen.
You know, I
You
think
know?
like maybe being single is harder outside of comedy because so many of I feel like I have a disproportionate number of friends who are single.
Yeah, but you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of artists, like we put our art before anything else, right?
So my friends in relationships act like they're single also. So
Yeah.
it's freaking dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so I think it'd be cool to find another artist or someone who can understand that artist mindset. And I think that's why it works well with me and him because he's
Yeah.
an artist in his own way too.
Yeah.
So we get each other, and we don't stand in each other's way, really.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah.
I don't know what the future has to hold for me, but I'm on Hinge.
You're on Hinge now?
I'm doing the Raya. I'm more on Hinge than Raya. Raya's been sort of meh.
Because Raya's the one with like all the Instagram like models and.
I mean, it's
like
celebrities.
It's a celebrity dating app.
But it's through referral, and there's people like I don't know. It's just Hinge is just a more user-friendly app. I feel like I'm more interested in the men that are popping up.
So when I was doing this, Hinge and Coffee Meets Bagel and Bumble, they tended to have more of like the normal guys with like normal careers. But I mean, we're in LA, so you're always going to get like the actors and the creatives and stuff like that.
I matched with 2 comics who.
Oh yeah.
It's funny when I always will match with a comic, even if we're just friends. I think it's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Hinge was a good one. Like anyone that uses your social network to kind of like curate a list of people for you and with your compatibility, it's like it might be someone that like you may run into at some point anyway, you know?
I mean, some of them I'm just like, how am I connected to this person? Like if you're 18 and live in Riverside, like.
Why do you have 18? Why are 18-year-olds showing up as your matches?
I don't know, man. I'm not that's not, to me, I prefer men in their early 30s.
So why didn't you update your like age filter?
I'm curiosity, because you never know. There could be an anomaly.
If you're 18 in Riverside, Fizza is looking at you.
No,
she
I'm
is.
not.
She may not swipe right, but she's curious.
Yeah, I mean, pop up on my shit.
Oh my God, what?
Pop up.
18? I mean, that's legal.
Oh, I might have a date tonight. Well, I'm probably not gonna. But he has like some sinus infection. But this guy who I'm actually like seems cool.
Are you guys like pen paling? You've been messaging on the app?
A little bit. I'm not.
Okay.
That's the thing is I'm not.
So
highly
you haven't
motivated.
met him yet. You haven't met him yet.
No, we were thinking he's like, just let me know what you want to do. Drink, dinner, drinks, dinner, coffee.
Yeah.
And I was like, a drink, but like, we'll be in New York, so I'll be out of town.
Oh, yeah.
We'll all be out of town, so I'll have to. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be giving you the update.
That's fun. Let me know. Let me know when we're at double date status. Okay.
I would just. Can I just be married to comedy?
It's just comedy doesn't keep you warm at night, you know.
Yeah, but I have a hoodie and 2 stuffed animals.
Comedy doesn't always feed you. That's the problem too. Comedy doesn't feed you. It's not now anyway.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't feed you well.
I mean, wait, what do you mean? Like literally? Like prepares meals for me in the kitchen?
Both. Like how often do we get to a comedy club and they're like, yeah, like we're not feeding you. Like you have to pay for your own dinner and stuff.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah. So there's that. There's also, again, like you can cook the dinner together. You can like have conversations together. Like, because comedy is like kind of lonely sometimes.
My mom would just love that you're having this conversation with me. She would love it.
I don't know. I'm pro having a companion.
I think it's great if it's right.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's the unknown. You don't know who you're going to meet. Everyone I've ever dated, I didn't expect to date them. I was like, I didn't know this was going to be the next guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, who knows? I'm just sort of trying to be open. Bumble's not working for me because I'm not so motivated to go on dates to like actually hit the guys up first.
Yeah, Bumble's the one where women have to make the first move, right? Well, so I was on Bumble and I was so tired of the men on there because you make the first move and then it's like you're open to rejection because like the guys that I was messaging, we would match and then they wouldn't message me back. Or a lot of these dating apps, it never turns into like real life dates.
Yeah.
So Bumble did this very smart thing where they created Bumble BFF, which is like a way to like for single women to meet other single women to like hang out and become besties with. So I've actually made some good friends through Bumble BFF because I was like, these men are trash, and they know that too. Like all of the women on there are like, these men are trash.
Yeah.
Let's go and have brunch together. And I've met some like amazing women in LA through that.
I'm gonna have to show you my Hinge thing. I can't do Bumble because all that reaching out first.
But do Bumble BFF because if you have some like you make some like great like connections with women, and they're supportive. They'll like come to your shows. They'll offer you advice. Like I've made some great friends who are like brand marketing managers
So
and
quality women.
so like you meet quality women who have their shit together. They're like these boss ass bitches, and they help you. Like you help each other grow, you know. So I would recommend Bumble BFF to any woman like looking to make new girlfriends or looking to expand their network of women. It really helped me. I made some like great friends out here in LA, and they come to our shows, you know, and they're really fun, and they're always like, you know, like rooting for me and vice versa. So it's fun.
Yeah, I might look.
There's a
into
silver
it.
lining with Bumble, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we need to get Bumble BFF to sponsor this because
There's so many people. Like whoever wants to sponsor this, just sponsor it. Like, like sponsor. You just
we gotta look at numbers to see where we are at some
We
point.
got. We'll get your product out there a little bit.
Yeah. So if you have any questions for us, or if you have any topics that you want us to cover,
hit us up, man.
Yeah, shoot us a DM.
Slide us in our DMs.
Or email us. Let us know, because otherwise we use these like sessions to like catch up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to hear from you guys. We want to
Yeah.
read your letters and answer your questions and just sort of like connect.
Yeah, for sure. What are the problems that you're facing right now? Are there new problems? I would like to know.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Or like, you know, our listeners.
Our listeners. What problems am I facing now? I think balance. I'm having an issue with balance and like.
You mean like work-life balance?
Yeah,
type of
because
stuff?
it's just like we have to go so hard and put so much focus. We don't have to, but
Yeah.
you know, if you want, like, the goal is to be able to go up after anybody and hold your own, right?
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of focus, a lot of
It's-
time, reps.
It's the 10,000 hour rule, right? It's
Yeah. But then, like, as a human,
yeah.
we need to sleep at some point. We need to eat.
We need to sleep. And then with comedy, we're also our own PR person. We're our own marketer. We're our own producer. We're our own editor. Manager. So we got to like do our bookings, and
Writer.
until you reach a certain level of success, you're kind of like a one person operation.
Yeah.
And it's very hard sometimes. Like we've had this problem where like we're producing the show. It's kind of like its own business.
Yeah.
But then we have to switch gears when we're like getting up on stage to perform and like become our creative selves. And it's hard to shut off one part of your brain to then, you know, like shine the other part of your brain.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So-
because like, look, being a producer, we're problem solving all the time.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
problem solving. But as an artist, we're present.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole other, like you said, a whole other gear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as an artist, like, how do you just shut it off? And I guess that's part of the skill. But you know, we're human too. So
Yeah.
you know, I want
Yeah.
to.
We gotta figure out balance. I think we
Yeah.
gotta schedule sleep. I think that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I've started to schedule at least 6 hours of sleep every day, at least. And that's been helpful. But then I've had other shit come up, so
Yeah. I know.
So it's always a balance. But sleeping helps you look better on camera. So
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Exactly.
yeah.
So I think, like, yeah, that's been lately. It's just, okay, well, how do I go so hard in the paint and, like, also look young? How do I work this hard and look this young? Like, how am I
I
supposed to work
know.
hard and look young? It's a lot.
Did you do the face app? Did you fall for
Hell
the
no,
Russian
I didn't
scam?
do the face app. But my roommate did.
Oh yeah.
So
I
they
saw
have my
that.
face. The Russians have my face.
Oh yeah, they have your face, but they don't have all your photos. So that's what they're saying. They're saying that it was a Russian hack because the company that does Face App, the one that like everybody was using last week to make their
Yeah.
faces look old, they're headquartered in St. Petersburg, which is in Russia.
Yeah.
And
Not the one in Florida?
no. And then basically like the legal terms and conditions that everyone just like clicks through and doesn't really read it. It basically said that they have access to the photos that you gave them. You give them access to your camera and your photo
Oh,
album.
so they have your whole camera roll.
So they have access to it in perpetuity, or like until you get rid of the app or whatever, you know.
until you get rid of the app.
I mean like in perpetuity meaning like for however long.
Okay, so they only have access through the app.
Yeah.
They don't once you have the app, they don't collect the data and keep
They
it?
could have. They could have.
Yeah.
I don't know like what all of it is, but the Russians had a good week, I guess, because we were all on that shit.
I mean, I wasn't dying to look at that. The one benefit of looking at it, though, was like, as women growing older in Hollywood, we tend to pick ourselves apart. And to see that, I'm like, I need to enjoy what the hell I've got going on right now.
Yeah. Well, I had fun with it. I was having so much fun with it. I posted mine.
You look good, old.
I look like a white lady. The app turned me into an old white lady.
You got like full lips and stuff.
I also I think I used like a better selfie or something. I don't know. But what I did was I took pictures of me and the boyfriend, and I like made us old.
I saw that.
It was like really fun to do. And I like sent it to his mom because I'm like, hey, you're never going to be able to see this. So
damn. We don't know what technology has in store.
maybe. No. I mean, I didn't say that, but I'm like, this is what we're going to look like.
Yeah. You did a younger version.
I did a younger version too.
It looked like you guys were going to like middle school.
We looked like we were going to like middle
something.
school dance. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. So they had like 3 different parts of it. They had like youth 1, youth 2, and like old. So everybody did the old. And then there's like youth 1 and youth 2. Youth 1 is like, it turned us into like middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Youth 2 is like somewhere in between. And what's funny is when I did it, I looked pretty much almost the same. And he looked younger. So he's now surpassed youth 2. So he's like closer to like what he's gonna look like in old age.
Oh.
I mean, he's still close to like the young side, but he's now past whatever that youth 2 filter is.
Yeah.
Like he's now past that in his age.
Okay.
So it was like interesting to gauge like where we're at. And I'm like, you know what this means? This means you're aging faster than I am. So you need to start a skincare regimen.
Moisturize, wear sunscreen, drink lots of water.
Yeah. And don't give the Russians your pictures anymore. That's what we learned from the face app.
You look good, man. See, I'm glad that I look like Gollum.
No, you didn't. I think the one that I did, I was like wearing, no, I did I did a selfie with no makeup on. But yeah, like if you take a good picture.
No, I used some of my best. I used like just the cream of the crop of selfies. And
but
it was like
also, it's an app. You don't know if you're going to age that way. Like, I don't know if that's going to be true.
But it looks so realistic, which is the scary part.
It was kind of scary.
And then when you can kind of see your parents or grandparents in it, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. But yeah, don't use the face app because you're giving the Russians your pictures.
Yeah. That's disconcerting.
Yeah. Where are we on? Oh, we're good.
Yeah, we can wrap this.
Yeah, we should wrap
this pod
Sorry.
up. So this comes out. Okay, so we have the shows coming up. We have August 11th at Westside Comedy Theater in Santa Monica, California at 9 p.m. And then we have August 30th at New York Comedy Club, Gramercy location at 11:30 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And our Westside show is the second Sunday of every month at 9 p.m.
Yes, and you can follow us on all the social medias. Facebook is Facial Recognition Comedy. Twitter is Facial Rec Comedy?
Yeah, Facial Rec Comedy.
Facial Rec Comedy. On Venmo, it's Facial Rec -comedy. Patreon.com/Facial Recognition Comedy. I think that's all the
And
things.
Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
That's
Instagram.
my favorite app.
Yep.
We also have a website, facialrecognitioncomedy.com. Just like Facial Recognition Comedy and just add whatever else
Google
after.
us.
You'll find us. Yeah.
Google us.
Well, we are also on the internet as individuals.
Yeah.
Because we're not the same person.
That's true. We're not.
Where can they find you? Z?
You can find me on all the socials, which would be Instagram, Twitter. I'm also on TikTok now for our younger fans as Really Zara, Zahra. Yeah.
Look at you getting into TikTok. I'm at Fizzadasani on all the platforms. FIZAADOSANI. That's 1 Z and 2 A's. And Pallavi at a bounce, but she is at Pallavi Gunalan on all the platforms. PALLAVIGUNALAN. Did I do that right?
Yes, you did. Good job. Good
Yeah.
job. I'm glad you did it because I would have fucked it up.
How should we end this podcast?
Do we have closing statements?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so.
What's your closing statement?
Well, see, now, like, there's so much pressure, and it's like,
I'm
okay, it's
sorry.
one statement.
Paul, do you want to give us a closing statement?
My closing statement is I want everyone, I would like to put this out there. We can all love ourselves.
Yes,
We're allowed to love ourselves.
Yeah, love yourself, and I guess in the same lines of self-love, floss.
Floss. Oh my God. Please.
And not just the dance move, but also like, your teeth. It's very important.
It affects your breath.
Yes.
It's
very
distracting when you're having a conversation with someone.
Save yourself
You
from
have leftovers in your
periodontal disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got better with flossing when my 2 molars spread apart, and now I have like this gap between my teeth, so I have to floss every time I eat, and my teeth have.
You heard it
never
here
looked better.
first. You're gonna get gaps in your molars if you don't floss. So please floss. Yeah, my dentist tells me that like religiously.
Well, the gap was from because I had a wisdom tooth removed, so there was space, so it just migrated back. And
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
do you need to?
I don't know. They tell me that I could if I want.
Oh, if you don't need to, then don't.
Yeah, but as you get older, your mouth gets more crowded for some reason.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a thing. I don't know. Anyway, floss. Yeah, floss. Make your smile brighter. Okay, bye.
See ya.